Welcome to the first Slice of Anime podcast. Now, this is a weekly podcast that I'm going to do every Sunday, every week, as long as I have no issues. So, hopefully you will tune in every week and kind of hear my explanation. This will be unedited, so if I have a pause or maybe I have a slip up, it's going to be here, but at least it's going to be kind of a one-on-one thing. I'm going to have a topic of the week that we're going to talk about. We'll go over kind of any news, major news, whether it be Twitter news or whatever, because whatever is relevant to me and what I post, I'll kind of discuss it here. And then we'll have guests on sometimes. We will just discuss pretty much what's going on, anime related or whatever. We're also going to talk about an anime of the week that I recommend to you. And then we'll have kind of talking about seasonals when those come up, and then pretty much whatever we want to talk about, we can talk about it here. So, like I said, this first one, I have no guest, but that is something that we will probably do more in the future. So, if you have a guest you would like to see, or if you'd like to be a part of this, let me know. We can try to work something out. But anyway, we have a few things that I would like to discuss today, and this will probably be between 45 minutes to an hour. It just depends on how quick it goes. Obviously, with a guest, it can last a little bit longer. Without a guest, it probably is going to be a little bit shorter because it's just me talking. So we'll see how that goes. But we're also going to have a Q&A. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we're going to have a Q&A. And if you'd like to ask a question, you can ask a question down below in the comments, or you can ask it on Twitter, or X now, and I'll answer it every week, or answer some of them every week. I can't get to every one of them because I got like 10 this week, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for the first one that never, for a podcast that didn't exist, I feel like that's pretty good. So we will kind of discuss those and go over what the thoughts are, my thoughts are on those, and anything else. So anyway, let's get right on into it. So the first topic that I came up with for the Slice of Anime podcast is one that actually a few people have been talking about, and that is the best OP of the year. Now, I don't think there has been an amazing OP yet. Now, I don't... Like, last year we had the Oshinoko OP, which, like, took the world by storm. Everybody loved that thing. So I think that we probably will get one of those. I just don't think we have got it yet. Now, I'll talk about in a minute which anime I think could make an OP like that, but I don't think we have gotten one yet. But I will go over a few of them. The first one I wanted to talk about was actually one that I don't think is that great of an OP, but I've heard a few people talk about it. And that's the Demon Slayer OP. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's decent. I think it kind of, it fulfills its purpose in being a OP that's not very epic for an arc that is not going to be that epic, if that makes sense. So, Demon Slayer this season is only 8 episodes, and the OP works. But comparing it to the other OP, like the first Demon Slayer OP, I think is actually the weakest. I actually would put the first Demon Slayer OP in the bottom of my list if I had to rank them all. And then it'd be like Mugen Train's pretty good. Entertainment District is phenomenal. One of the all-time OPs in my opinion. And Swordsmith Village is pretty good. I like it a lot. Those three I really like. I don't really like the first one, and I don't really like this one. There's nothing really wrong with it, but it doesn't hit me that way. Another one is actually two of them that I'm going to mention that I think had really, really good first OPs, and then decent second OPs. And the first of them is Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. I thought it was a fantastic first OP, but the second OP I thought was just okay. With Frieren, it's closer than the other one I'm going to mention, because I really do like that second OP. I think visually the first OP is much, much better. Musically, I'd almost give it to the second OP. That one's probably higher on my list than some of them, but I don't think it's fantastic. I think it's solid. The other one I want to mention is the Apothecary Diaries. I really like the Apothecary Diaries, and I haven't talked about it enough, but I want to make an actual video on the Apothecary Diaries. But the first OP for that is an all-time great OP, in my opinion. Honestly, if I would have watched that sooner, I think it might have gave Idol a run for its money in OP for last year. Every time I bring up best OP from last year, I'd always give it to Idol. I thought Idol was fantastic. I had no problems with Idol from Ocean to Go. And so I really was like, nothing can beat it. The first OP for the Apothecary Diaries, if you've not watched Apothecary Diaries, for one, go watch it. But go watch the OP, just the OP. It is fantastic. The visuals on it are beautiful. The song for it is incredible. And then it also fits with that story. Like, a lot of them, and we'll talk about this in a minute, I feel like sometimes they'll give an OP to a series, and it kind of, like, it fits basically, like, it works, but it's not, like, it's not an OP that you're like, this is perfect for this anime. No, it's like, okay, this is a great song, great visuals, but it just doesn't fit with the story being told. Now, Frieren has two really good OPs that work with its story. They work with it, the visuals, the music. They both feel like they're kind of this, it just works with the tone of the series. Apothecary Diaries, same way. It's kind of this mysterious type feeling. But the second one, the second OP, I just don't feel like it did the same thing. It really just didn't work the same way the first one did. The first one, phenomenal, 10 out of 10, no problems. The second one, like a 7 out of 10, maybe 6 out of 10. I don't really, I can remember it because I just listened to it just a few minutes ago. But I just don't think it's amazing like the first one was. So, Frieren, Demon Slayer, Apothecary Diaries, I don't think any of them is going to be OP of the year. But talking about a few other ones, one that I really like, and I don't think it is going to be OP of the year, but I really do like it, I want to talk about it, is 'Tis Time for Torture Princess. It's a very it's a fun OP. The visuals are not like insane. You're not thinking, wow, that is something that I would have never seen before. It's like the perfect 8 out of 10 OP. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. That is a phenomenal OP. But it's nothing special. But it fits for that series. It's great for that series. It gets you hyped up for every episode. You're like, yep, I am all in on wanting to watch this. It gets you in the mood and everything. And I kind of appreciate it for that. And like I said, it's nothing special. It's just one of them fun ones. And sometimes that's enough. But for OP of the year, no, I don't think it will. Now, I'm going to talk about another one that I've not watched the series, but every time I looked up stuff on OP of the year so far, this one got brought up, and that is Mashle, Magic, and Muscle. And I listened to it a while ago, and here's the thing. This may be a really hot take. I don't really like it. Something about that kind of style just doesn't work with me. Maybe it's not something that I feel like I listen to every day. And maybe that's being harsh. It's more of a me thing. I can see someone else saying, this is OP of the year. I don't think that'll be with me. So that's all I'll say about it. I haven't watched the series, so I don't really know if it fits the series. I don't really know anything like that. I don't really even know if the visuals are that great because I've just listened to it. So it's pretty much up to the people that watched it. Did you enjoy it? Let me know down below. Did you watch Mashle, and what did you think of the OP? I know a lot of people say it's fantastic. The next one I'm going to talk about is Dangers in My Heart. So The Dangers in My Heart, I think, has two really good OPs for the first, or season 1, season 2. I think it has two really good OPs. I almost want to give it to season 1, though, for having the better OP. Now, that's not to say that season 2 is bad, and I'm in a similar boat as, like, Freerun here. Freerun had a fantastic part 1 OP. Second OP was great, like I said, but it's just not... You go from a 9 out of 10 OP to a 8 out of 10 OP, it's like, yeah, it's still fine, but it's just not as good. That's how I feel with Dangers in My Heart. The visuals, I think, are phenomenal. Phenomenal. If I had to give it an edge over Freerun or Dangers in My Heart, I'd give it to Dangers in My Heart, no questions asked. But I don't feel like it's good enough to withstand 2 more seasons of OPs coming out that probably will beat it. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm going to probably say that Dangers in My Heart will get beat. Now, we do have a few more that I'm going to talk about, but we'll discuss that. So the next one here is one that I think is interesting, and that's Gushing Over Magical Girls. So this is a series that is kind of taking the anime world by storm. And this is a topic that I want to discuss in another video, but I really wanted to go over the OPs this week since we're closing on the end of this season. But Gushing Over Magical Girls has kind of taken everybody by surprise. Its Blu-ray sales are phenomenal. They are outselling other series that should have beat it by a lot. No one expected Gushing Over Magical Girls to do this well. And the OP is pretty good. I want to talk about that. It's pretty good. Now, is it like anime of the, or OP of the year? I'd almost say it's in contention. Now, is it the best and will it be OP of the year? I don't know. That's obviously depending on what the next 2 seasons look like. Out of the ones we've got so far, though, it's up there. Now, I think it's such a fun one to listen to. Like, I've listened to it probably 25, 50 times already. It's one that I have on my playlist that I listen to a lot. So it is one that I enjoy. I do probably enjoy it more than Dangers in My Heart now that I think about it. So I think this would probably be my OP of the year so far. Now, like I said, time will tell if that changes, but I just think it's up for debate on whether or not it stays there. Another one that I wanted to mention before I go, and this one was actually higher on my list earlier in the year, and it's fallen off, and that's The Weakest Tamer Began a Journey to Pick Up Trash. I really liked this OP at first. And this goes into my whole problem with this entire anime, because I really liked the ED, which I want to make another video or another topic on another podcast later on. But The Weakest Tamer Began a Journey to Pick Up Trash started off phenomenal. I mean, yeah, I was thinking this could be anime of the year. As the series went on, and by the time it ended, I didn't like it. I'm going to be honest, it has gotten worse the more I've thought about it. I just don't really like where the story went. I think it undermines everything that they did in the first half. And I'm not going to spoil it for you because it is a decent watch. But I do think story-wise is very just sloppy. And I'm sorry for anyone that likes it, but it just didn't work for me. And that's the same. I don't know if that, like, the anime itself has ruined the OP for me, because I did like the OP. I don't know if I'd put it over Gushing Over Magical Girls, but it was up there. And same kind of thing with 'Tis Time for Torture, but I think it was a little bit better than that. But it just fit with the story, it fit with the whole vibe, got me ready to go for every episode. But then the series just fell off. And I don't think it fell off quality-wise. I think quality, it's fine. I think the story just got ruined. And I want to read it. I've got the first 4 volumes of the novel, and I want to read that because I want to see if that's if it's just translated really badly in the anime, or if it's like it's in the in the novel as well, that it's just bad, because I just didn't have a good time with this series at all, and it's gotten worse. But anyway, that is pretty much all of them that I have written down. Obviously, I've not watched everything, so obviously there is going to be anime that I didn't mention. So if you have an OP that you think is better than what I mentioned, feel free to add it on. I would like to hear it. Maybe then I can go check it out and see if it's better than what I've got. But like I said, I don't think there is an OP so far this year that is anime of, or OP of the year quality yet. Eventually, maybe, but not yet. Now, this is our Q&A section of the podcast where I answer your questions, and whatever you want to comment down below, you can answer it or comment on one of my posts on Twitter, and I will, or X, and I will add it to the list, and then I will answer them next week. I will try to get to as many of them as I can. I didn't ask a lot of them, or I didn't get a lot of them this week, but we will try to get more as we go on. And ask me some unique ones, maybe what my thoughts are on a certain anime you've seen me post, or whatever you have that you think could be interesting to discuss. So the first question here is from NKZ Tempest, and that is, what was the first anime that got you hooked, and when did I start? So the first anime I watched was Butoden. I've mentioned that before. I've got a poster of it right up above me. I really liked it, but the first anime that actually got me hooked is probably Rent-A-Girlfriend. I know that's funny to say, but it is probably the first one that really, like, I was excited. It was coming out. The first season was coming out whenever I first watched, and this goes into another one that I didn't write down, but someone asked, and that is, when did I start? And that was 2020. And it was coming out in August, and I was really into just like, hey, I want to know what happens next. I want to see more of Ruka. I want to see more of Chizuru. I don't know why. I've watched much better ones than that from now, but I still love watching this anime whenever it comes out. We've got 3 seasons now. I read it every week whenever a new chapter comes out, so it still got me hooked. I really just enjoy the characters. I really enjoy storytelling. You can say that it's slow. You can say, you know, why do you even bother with a series like that? It's just something, like, it's my guilty pleasure almost. A lot of people like to joke with the trash taste guy, Grant, I think it is, but he really likes Domestic Girlfriend. No one is going to say that Domestic Girlfriend is amazing. I think everybody knows it's not. I hate it, but no one's going to say Rent-A-Girlfriend is great. I admit that, but I really like it. I will read it until the very end, and I hope that we get to, like, volume 100, and it's still going. You know, the creator is 97, and he's still drawing Chizuru in her bathrobe. I'm fine with that. I will read that every week whenever I'm 70 and still reading it. So keep making them. I'll keep buying all the Chizuru figures from you. But the next one here is from Copy Warrior 1990, and that is the first slice of life anime that really spoke to me or I could relate to. So this is a hard one because there was a few different ones that I kind of encountered leading up to the one that I'm going to mention. But the one that I'm going to mention is A Place Further Than the Universe. And I'm going to make a video on this eventually. But this is a anime that is probably one of, I don't want to say it's my favorite. I'm going back and forth on what is my favorite anime of all time. I don't think it's A Place Further Than the Universe anymore. But it's one that a lot of people will say it's not a slice of life. And maybe it's not. And if that's not the case, then I'll mention another one here in a minute. But for that one, it really related to me in this way that the main character, Mari, Mari is not God. She's not being bullied at school like another one of the characters. She's not a famous actress that is trying to find her purpose in life, trying to be something, like be able to live a normal life. And she's not like the other girl that has trying to find her mom. Mari is just existing. She has existed. She doesn't know a purpose in life, but that's not to say that her life is bad. She just wants to live life. And to me, I really relate to Mari. Mari is relatable to me in the sense that you can, even though there's nothing traumatic happening to you, you still want more. You don't want a boring, mundane life. You want something much more. And Mari is the embodiment of that to me. So I really related to her in that regard. There's a really good clip. You can find it on YouTube now. I think Crunchyroll posted it. But it's My Youth is in Motion. And it's from, I think, like episode 4. But it's when they're all running through the city trying to escape the adults. And I really like that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes from that anime. One of my favorite anime scenes of all time. Go check it out. Go check out that entire anime. It's fantastic. You will love it. It just got a Blu-ray release. I know the dub is in the Blu-ray. I don't know if the dub is out yet or not on like Crunchyroll or stuff. So if you want the dub, go check out the dub. If you're fine with sub, that's already out. I know that for sure. But yeah, that is my most relatable slice of life. And if that doesn't count as slice of life, I have another one that I'll mention. And this one is like later on it's like my 70th anime. And that is Non-Non-Baiori. Non-Non-Baiori is a kind of, it's like a country anime to where you have the 4 main girls and they're in like a country setting. It's very rural, and there's a bug flying around me. But they're set in a country setting, and throughout the anime, they are pretty much just doing very small, like, I don't want to say meaningless things, because their life is meaningful, and they show that even in a very small, unpopulated area, they still can have fun with life, and they have a good time. Especially with the main character, Renge. She is just the embodiment of enjoying life, even in its, like, a very, like, basic form. And I really like that, and I relate to that a lot. So I just really enjoy that one. Not a lot to say on Non-Non-Baiori. I've not wrote anything down for that. I do want to make a video on that as well, but that'll be way down the line. I've started writing down stuff for A Place Further in the Universe, so I do have a little bit more to say on that. Non-Non-Baiori, not so much, but that is one that I do recommend as well. Fantastic anime. Fantastic final scene as well, but that's for a different time. Now, like I said, if you'd like to ask me a question or ask one of my guests a question, I don't know if we'll have a guest next week. I don't think so, but we will. But if you'd like to ask a question, feel free to answer or ask that question down below in the comments, or you can go on X and ask it there as well. I will be putting up a post every week to where you can ask those questions. Now, I only answered 2 this week, but I will answer more in the future. So if I didn't answer yours this week, I do have a few of them wrote down still, and I might answer them next week. So ask a new question. If you asked one already, I will probably end up getting to yours eventually, because there was quite a few of them that I found really interesting, but I went on tangents. And a few of them I actually wrote down for topics that I could talk about. So if you didn't get it answered here, there is a good chance that it could be a topic next week or the week after or whatever. So don't worry. We're going to talk about it, because one of them is a topic for next week that I've already written down. So, like I said, don't worry, your question will probably be answered. Now, the next portion of the podcast here is I'm going to highlight an anime that I have watched. Now, it is easy for me to just give you an anime that I don't really have a lot of feelings on, but I'd like to show it off and say, hey, watch this anime, and then we move on. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about an anime that I'm really passionate about. Now, this might be an anime that I eventually will do a video on, or maybe one that I've already done a video on. But we're just going to talk about it, kind of give my general thoughts on it, more of a casual setting here. So we'll go with that. So this week I'm going to go over Belle. Belle is a movie that is 2021, I think it's whenever it came out, 2021 or 2022, but I really love Belle. Belle is one of my favorite, it's in my top 10 anime of all time. And Belle is based on kind of a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast, set in a more digital, like virtual. Think if Ready Player One and Beauty and the Beast made a animated love child. That's what you'd get with Belle. Now, to me, Belle has some really good moments in it. But to me, it has one of the greatest anime scenes of all time, and that is A Million Miles Away, the final song, the final act of the story, really. It is incredible. Whenever, I'm not going to spoil it here, but whenever the main character, does what she does in that final scene, it is fantastic. Dealing with, this is not a spoiler because it's one of the first things mentioned in the anime, but the main character, her mother has now died in a tragic event whenever she was younger, and she loved to sing with her mother, but because of that, she is now kind of hesitant to sing because it reminds her of her mother. It brings her pain. So whenever she's given this virtual world to kind of go sing in, she is very much like intrigued by this. She wants to be able to sing, and not having her face, not having her personality, to be able to take the personality of Belle, this fictional character pretty much, she is able to sing without the worry of real life. And then as the story goes on, we see that we get introduced to the Beast, or the Beast counterpart, the dragon here. So as you move throughout the story, you kind of learn more about him, you learn more about her, you go through all of these struggles, and then the way that it all ties together in the end is phenomenal. Now, this anime was not really, I don't want to say panned by critics, but it was not praised the way I think it should have been. To me, a lot of anime is criticized by saying that it is, what's a good way of putting it? That it doesn't try hard enough. I don't know where they got that from with Belle. Belle, in my opinion, takes a classic story and then takes it and puts it into a new type of storytelling that works for a modern age, but also deals with some really tough topics. And like I said, I'd like to make a video on this like it as well at some point, because this is a really deep subject that I want to get into spoilers for, but I'm not going to be here because I want you to go watch it. It is on Max, by the way, the streaming service Max. If you have that, you can go check it out there. Or you can buy it on Blu-ray. I have the Blu-ray back there, I think. It's in there somewhere. Or maybe it's there. That little black one right there. That's Belle. Just go check out Belle. Belle is a fantastic anime. You will not be disappointed. And I'll make a video on that at some point, but you won't be disappointed. Belle is all-time classic for me. It has been in my top 10 ever since I watched it. It's still there. Has not fallen any. If anything, I've gained more respect for it on multiple rewatches. So, highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. Ignore the fact that it decided to stop recording and didn't tell me. So I've been talking to you for the past 20 minutes, and it did not tell me. So anyway, let's get back to where we were at. So the next portion of this show is where we're going to be talking about something that is non-anime related. Whether that be just current events, not politics. I'm not going to talk about politics, don't worry about that. But something that I feel like is necessary to talk about, whether it be anime or not. It's not going to be anime related. It's going to be non-anime related, so sporting event, musical thing, whatever, TV show I watched, new movie that came out, we're going to talk about it here. Have a few ideas for this already, but I have a few ideas that I wanted to discuss here. Now, I asked you guys on X what you wanted me to discuss, and the not overwhelmingly results, but the majority of you said the Nintendo Direct. Now, we do have a Nintendo Direct that is scheduled for June. We don't know if it's going to be 1st of June. We don't know if it's not going to be 1st June. 1st June's already over. We don't know if it's going to be the middle of June, where we're at now, or towards the end of June. Now, I've heard rumors that it's going to be this week, so we're going to talk about what I'd like to see in it. Now, I can think of really two main things that could be in the Direct, but I think we're going to get some random stuff. Like, obviously, I don't think we're going to get any Mario stuff. We just got Mario Wonder. We just got Luigi's Mansion. That comes out in a little bit. We just got a new Paper Mario. We just got Princess Peach Showtime. So I feel like we're not going to get anything Mario. Now, I do think there's a good chance we get something Legend of Zelda. I feel like that's one of their tentpole things now, and I feel like we haven't got one of them in a little bit. Last one was Tears of the Kingdom, and that was, what was it, 2 years ago now? So I don't feel like we're going to get that. I think it was first of last year, so it's been at least a year. So I think it's likely that we will get something Legend of Zelda. I'd love to see a new 2D one. Maybe if it's even on the style of like Link's Awakening. I don't think it'll be in the same style, but I think same sort of remake. If they do a remake, they could do Oracle of Ages and Seasons, but I don't think we'll get that. I think we'll get something brand new, similar to Link Between Worlds. Maybe we'll get something brand new. Maybe we'll get like a Four Swords game. That'd be fun, but I don't think we're going to get it. Don't know what we'll get with that, but I think we will get something Legend of Zelda. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is what I am most excited for if we get it, and it's new Fire Emblem game. Now, we've gotten 2 brand new Fire Emblem games in the Switch so far. We got 3 Houses and we got Engage. Now, 3 Houses, I loved. I love 3 Houses. I have some stickers coming from a ex-artist that I am excited to show off. But that is one of my favorite games of all time. Engage, I really did not engage with it. It is not one of my favorites. I just didn't like it. I don't like some of the mechanics in it. I think the animation or the visuals are fantastic. I think those look great. But I just don't like the like hub world. I think is very boring. I think a lot of the characters are boring. Now, I like the Hiya Papaya girl. I don't remember what's her name. I don't even remember her name. But I remember like all the 3 Houses people, but I played like 400 hours worth in that game. So I think we'll get a new 3 Houses, or not a new 3 Houses. I think we'll get a new Fire Emblem game. Now, what type of Fire Emblem game will we get? That's a tough one because there's like we could get a remake, and I think that's probably what we'll most likely get. We could get a new game. We could get like a sequel to a game. I think most likely we will get a Genealogy of the Holy War remake. They really want to go back and remake the ones that we never got in English, I'm noticing. They did that with the first game, which I really enjoyed, even though it was not really a remake, but just like a re-release in English. So I'm fine if they continue to do that. Genealogy of the Holy War, I feel like that's a type of game, though, that just needs a complete remake. Now, how do you do that? Like, do you put like a hub world in it like the other games have had? Do you put, I don't think we already get like kind of love options in the game. So it's interesting to see how that game will work on a Switch. But I'm very interested in how they will do that, and if they do it, how it works, how it is. Personally, I think it'd be great. Fire Emblem has been one of my favorite franchises for a while, so I'm really excited if we do get that. Now, obviously, I'd love it. Tomodachi Life. That was one of my favorite games growing up, so I'd love to see that again. Donkey Kong is one that I thought about. I just don't see a new Donkey Kong game coming, unfortunately. I feel like that's going to be more Switch 2, or whatever that's called. I feel like that's coming later. So, I don't know. I just feel like it's not coming now. So, hold off on the Donkey Kong fans. It's coming. I will bet money we're not going to see anything Metroid. We're definitely not going to see anything Pikmin. We're not going to see anything Animal Crossing. We're not going to get any Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, nothing like that. Trying to think of like what other franchises they could do. We're not going to get anything Pokemon because Pokemon does their like own directs, so they'll do their own thing when they want to do that. Now they might introduce like a mystery dungeon, but even then I feel like that would be in its own direct. So I don't think we'll get anything Pokemon here. Other than that, I feel like there could be some like smaller titles that we could see, but nothing big. I don't think we'll see anything Xenoblade either. I know it's been a few years since Xenoblade 3, and maybe this is a great time to re-release Xenoblade Chronicles X. I never could get into that one. I never really played 2 or 3. I don't even own 3. 1 I did enjoy. I never finished it, but I did enjoy it. But I tried to play X and I just did not enjoy it. But I know it has a dedicated fan base. So maybe they'll get their wish now because it's all stuck on the Wii U, and that server's dead now. So maybe. As for anything else, I don't know. I feel like we're in something no one saw coming. Because here's the thing: we're at the end of like the Wii or the Switch life cycle. We're in like the dog days of the Switch. So every time we get into a situation like this, they always drop some random stuff that I feel like they're just like, hey, at the beginning of a Switch life or a console life cycle, this is a bad idea because it's not going to sell consoles. But whenever everybody already owns the console, drop this and see how it does. I feel like that's their mentality, and we get that a lot. And usually we get some really interesting stuff when they do that. We got like the Fire Emblem remake on 3DS when they do that, and I don't know if it sold well or not, but it was really fun. So, maybe we'll get stuff like that. So I feel like we're going to do something completely random. No one saw it coming. I feel like that is coming from a franchise that we did not expect. So whether that be F-Zero, maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Earthbound franchise, another franchise, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, that is about it for my off-topic, non-anime discussion this week. If you'd like me to discuss whatever topic of the week that is going on next week, let me know. I have a few different things I want to discuss on this portion of the show. I'd really like to discuss the new Godzilla movie. I recently watched -1, and I really want to watch more Godzilla. So eventually, this will be a Godzilla portion where I'll discuss Godzilla for like 10-15 minutes. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this part of the show. I enjoyed it, so, maybe you do too. Maybe you'll find something you didn't think to watch or maybe enjoy before. Maybe this portion of the show will introduce you to something. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that part. Now, finally here, I just want to thank you. Now, finally, before I go, I'm going to tell you what next week's topic is. So, today, when you watch this, if you watch it on the day it came out, I will be doing a top 25 best girls list. This will go over my top 25 best girls at the moment. It'll be a summer 2024 edition. Now, on X, you can look and see what the ranking is already. If you want to wait, you can wait till next Sunday, and I'm going to be going over all 25 of them and kind of explain my placement for each one of them and why they got that placement and what maybe I thought about each one of them individually. A little bit more detail into it. So if you're interested in that, come back next week and check that out. Like I said, don't forget to comment down below a question you may have for the podcast. I don't know if I'll have a guest on next week. Probably not. But if I do, I'll ask them those questions as well. If it's directed towards them. If it's just directed towards me, I'll answer them. So anyway, I hope you did enjoy the show. This is something that I've kind of been working on for about a week or two now. It's something that I wanted to try out. Wanted something to keep going and see how it goes. I know it's kind of a random thing to do. I'm a smaller creator, so it's something that is harder to get going, but I hope that it does, and I hope that you guys do enjoy it as much as I do making it. So, like I said, it's still in the early process, so like today, I had to do a lot of cuts because I had a bug flying around for a little bit that I had to get rid of, and then the camera stopped recording and didn't tell me that it stopped recording for 10-20 minutes. So all that got lost. So I've talked about Fire Emblem twice now. Anyway, if you did enjoy and you want to see it again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be back next week. I'll have 3 videos coming up this week. I have the Marin figure that has broken the internet. That'll be later in the week. I have an Ami Ami unboxing that will be earlier in the week, and then I'll have a review in the middle of the week. So look forward to all of those. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it once again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.